Guardiola was in La Liga, Spain won the World Cup. 2014, Pep Guardiola was in the Bundesliga, Germany won the World Cup. Here we are in 2018, Pep Guardiola was in the Premier League, so it's all on Raheem Sterling, John Stones and Kyle Walker to win England the World Cup, I think.
Welcome to 442's World Cup 2018 preview, group stage version. We're up to Group G. We've already done Groups A, B, C, D, E and F, and those videos will be lurking somewhere near this one. But stick around, because we've got Group G first, and that includes some fantastic teams and some very confusing ones. So, in Group G we have Belgium, we have Panama, we have Tunisia, and we have England. What's going to happen in this one then, chaps?
Well, we expect England and Belgium to be the clear group favourites, but then England have form in disappointing. I think one thing that is in both those two teams' benefit or to their advantage is that they play each other last, so they might go into that game having secured 6 points potentially, and so the pressure may be off a little bit, and then it will just be a case of whether you want to avoid one of the big boys in the first knockout stage.
If those two teams have got 6 points, and it's a big if, all these things are hostage to fortune in football, but if those two teams have got 6 points, they will already have qualified, or would have thought in most mathematical situations, and they will be squabbling over whether to play Poland, Senegal, Colombia or Japan. But anyway, let's speak of Group G for now. Well, let's talk about Belgium before we get onto the thorny problem of England. It's the golden generation, right? They've got to win something at some point, the world's lightest dark horses.
I mean, one thing you would say in their favour is they are no longer dark horses. After years of obscurity, they are no longer dark horses. They obviously have a very talented squad, which has quality throughout it. Excellent goalkeeper, Courtois, excellent defenders, Alderweireld and Vertonghen, even if Vertonghen's probably going to play at wing back. Hazard, De Bruyne, and then Lukaku up front. That's very strong. More than enough, you would imagine, to get out of this group. Qualified with ease. I think they were the first European team to qualify.
There's also they're managed by Roberto Martinez, and one of the knocks against him is that he's not the best at organising defences, and so that would be another concern when Belgium come up against the bigger teams in the knockout stages.
Surely that's where you rely on your experienced assistant manager, your experienced elderly defensive head man. Oh, they've got Thierry Henry. They could be a beautiful team to watch.
It'd be interesting to see just how well Hazard and De Bruyne can play together. One thing that's kind of developed over the last 6 months or so, probably helped by the way that Pep Guardiola has deployed De Bruyne for City, is that he sits a bit deeper and is more involved in kind of game control rather than being kind of at the higher end of the pitch, just crossing it in, and so that might allow both of them to kind of have their space.
Spheres of influence.
Exactly, yeah, and not be treading on each other's toes.
The best ever World Cup for Belgium was 1986. They got to the semi-finals, finished fourth, if you want to call it that. Do you think they can match that this time?
I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, they can certainly get through the round of 16 against whoever is in Group H, Colombia or Poland or whoever it turns out to be. Then it takes one performance and they're in the semi-finals.
Yeah. But it takes that performance against Brazil or Germany.
I would still expect them to lose that quarter-final.
We could say pretty much the same for England, I would guess, in that excellent attacking ideas, some really promising, threatening players. Defence, perhaps questionable, perhaps uncertain for different reasons. I suppose Belgium have got more talent in midfield than you could say England have got, and also the questionable temperament thing. What would represent success for England at this World Cup?
A quarter-final, probably.
Yeah.
I think helped by a favourable draw in the first knockout stages.
Yeah.
After the Euros, though, they definitely need to get out of the group, and also, I think what's important for this World Cup for England is playing with some verve. You know, it's become a kind of depressingly familiar scene watching England at a major tournament really struggle their way through matches. England players struggling to find each other with like simple passes and making goal scoring seem like an impossible mission impossible. And you know, I'm quite hopeful actually that that they will go into this tournament looking to actually express themselves in a way that they haven't in previous tournaments. And you know, we are setting the bar low when we say just play well, but that's kind of what I think the England fans want to see, what I think Gareth Southgate will want to see, and what the players will want to try and do as well.
Bizarrely, England's best hope at this World Cup is Pep Guardiola. In 2010, Pep Guardiola was in La Liga, Spain won the World Cup. 2014, Pep Guardiola was in the Bundesliga, Germany won the World Cup. Here we are in 2018, Pep Guardiola's in the Premier League, so it's all on Raheem Sterling, John Stones and Kyle Walker to win England the World Cup, I think.
Those are three good examples, perhaps not Stones, but those are good examples of players who've really come on under Guardiola's tutelage. And also, to be fair, under Southgate's tutelage for England. You've now got Walker playing on the right of a three-man central defence and adding his pace and impetus from there.
You know, there's a core group of England players now who are managed by some of the world's best managers. And, you know, Southgate has definitely borrowed some of those ideas and deployed them for England. And also, England have Harry Kane, who scores in bunches and is you know, arguably the one truly world-class player. And it wouldn't be a surprise if he goes there and gets 6 or 7 goals, scoring in gets a couple of braces, and when he does that, you know, you've always got a chance.
Yeah. England's first opponents, Tunisia, haven't won a World Cup match in 40 years, so that could go either way. If Tunisia did beat England, you can imagine the headlines. But also, they rarely come from behind. They're not a strong team.
They've also lost Msakni, their key player, before the World Cup to injury, which is a big blow to them.
Do you see Panama as any more likely to go through?
Perhaps not. But from an England point of view, again, it's a banana skin that you can see something, you know, bad happening, a la Iceland, a la USA in 1950. But I mean, you know, they are experienced, you would say. You know, most play in the MLS. Again, quite functional. They have the world's strongest player on FIFA, Roman Torres, who also scored the goal that qualified them for the World Cup.
I also wouldn't underestimate the fact that because it is their first World Cup, how absolutely determined they will be to at least get one good result out of this. So I think they will not be an easy team to play.
Are we thinking that Belgium will finish top then?
I think so, yeah.
Probably.
It will be
unless
fair.
they slip on a Panamanian banana skin.
Right.
I think it might come down to goal difference. I'd expect Belgium and England potentially to end up with 7 points each, and I think because Belgium score more goals traditionally against the lesser teams, then they might win it on goal difference.
Belgium, the flat track bullies to win but go out in the quarterfinals. I think we've decided. Possibly the same for England, but we'll see. We'll see who they have to face in Group H, which is coming up soon. But to recap, Group G, we have Belgium finishing top, England going through, also Panama and Tunisia buying celebratory hats and enjoying the occasion. Join us next time for Group H, but before then, do feel free to disagree or even to agree with what we've said in the comments below this video. And don't forget to check out Groups A to F, because they were good too. Join us soon for Group H.